So you said that earlier when you started this, you had to reach out to these brands to
Yeah.
build them on. What are the other challenges that you had, pressing challenges that Meolaa faced in its early stages?
So, we were kind of lucky on the funding front. We raised around, I raised it straight out of college. I think by the time I returned from university, I already had 50% of my round subscribed to.
Okay.
So that was one decision I could kind of dive in
Okay.
head first. And then, of course, the rest of the 50% got subscribed. In Jan, I came. March, we closed the round and announced it.
Okay.
So that kind of moved pretty well. But that also then of course, once the funds come in, you have to also run that much faster, right? Because it's not a pressure from the investors, it's more a pressure you put on yourself. So yeah, I think initially there was a learning curve when it came to technology and product. We're the only new age marketplace out there that's not that's not using an off-the-rack solution. So most of the new age marketplaces choose to use a Shopify, Magento, a CS Mart, etc. for their 0 to 1 journey, and rightly so, probably because it's a much quicker way to launch. But with Meolaa, I think we wanted to have more of a impact on the long tail supply that we were solving for, right? So the sellers, and which is why we decided to go ahead, and of course we had Dale on our right side, which helped, right? So we built the product out. That was a journey of itself. Initially, the team, and I would say even myself, we didn't appreciate that learning curve at all, right? We didn't appreciate the bugs, we didn't appreciate the failures, we didn't appreciate the initial setup which it took, because it's extremely comprehensive, right? You imagine Amazon and you imagine a 5-member team trying to understand how that system works and how we've built it out, and then of course a lot of new age features in that. So I think that was definitely problem and challenge one. The second thing was onboarding brands when we didn't have a website live. They were like, what are you onboarding us onto? Like, where are you taking us? Where you plan to sell the products? There was no website, right? But I would give complete kudos to my team. I think they worked like a bunch of troopers, where they onboarded around 450, if I'm not wrong, 500 brands before we were even live.
Wow.
So when we went live with 500 brands and 30,000 SKUs.
Okay.
So
That's
that
good.
was the collection we entered the market with, right? Which was amazing. So I think problem number 2 was that. And then problem number 3, I would definitely say is more of an opportunity in terms of how do we kind of differentiate ourselves, right? Whether it's content, digital media, all of the platforms, owned and earned media platforms. How do we differentiate ourselves? And that's a question we ask ourselves every day. Things have worked, things have not worked. But I think from all of those mistakes, we've only learned. And we had to make those mistakes to get to where we are. So I think that's another opportunity, and it will continue to be for many, many years.
Awesome.